Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows and Doors, the right choice, winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State Awards.
Our next guest, we have Ficca, who is an actor at the Totem Playhouse, which ironically is such a nice guy, playing Scrooge,
That's
Ebenezer
right.
Scrooge, coming up here for A Christmas Carol. Tell us about, just walk us through about the upcoming show, A Christmas Carol.
Well, we're doing performances December 6th through the 15th at the Majestic Theater in Gettysburg. It's a huge production. Probably I've done Christmas Carol 4 other times at other theaters, and this is by far the biggest one I've ever done to just kind of fit just the grand scale of the Majestic. And it's Scrooge's redemption story. There's there's a bunch of children singing and doing a great job, and W.C. Fields was right. Never act with dogs or children because they're going to show you up. And we've got a cast of about 40. And we've been working on it all week. I'm about to head over there now for a big technical rehearsal.
And is the play very closely related to the traditional story?
All the dialogue comes right from the novel. Okay. And it's cut down a bit. It hits the highlights, of course. It's Scrooge's redemption story through getting on Bob Cratchit early on, and then meeting Marley, and then the ghosts, and then Christmas morning and his redemption. So it does stay very, very close to the traditional Christmas Carol.
And did you know that you wanted to play Scrooge for this one, or did you just audition and you were okay with whatever spot you had?
I have a long history with Totem Pole. Mm-hmm. I was a company member. I first started 2005. And I did every summer from 2005 to 2013, and then a couple of summers, in between then and now. And the great Will Love did Christmas Carol for many years for Totem Pole, and Will is kind of an idol of mine. He taught me so much about acting and that kind of thing. And then our dear friend Paris Pete took the reins over when Christmas Carol came back, and Paris and I did many, many shows together. So it was always on my radar. I said, I'd love to do it. And then Ryan called me and said, what do you think about A Christmas Carol? And I said, tell me where to be.
Right, where and when.
Where and when, tell me where to be.
I know you said you've been in 4 productions of A Christmas Carol.
Right, this is my question.
Have you been Scrooge before?
I have.
Okay.
I have, and they've all been different productions.
I was going to say, what makes this one different?
Well, this one, I think, is the most traditional. And this one also has, like I said before, a grand set to it that revolves around and all that kind of thing. And this is the biggest one to scale that I've ever done. But the difficulty is each adaptation's slightly different. So I'll be saying words, even though I did one 15 years ago, I'll be saying words and the stage manager's like, Ray, that's not anywhere close to what's in the script. I'm like, oh man, I'm back in the
That's when Ray says, line,
yes. I'm back in the 2010 production at the Wayside Theater or something like that.
Can you give us a little preview of Scrooge?
How about the opening monologue?
Well, I love his monologue where he says, Christmas, out upon Christmas. What's Christmas to you but a time for paying bills with no money, a time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer? If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. That's Scrooge at the beginning.
Well
he
done.
is, thank you.
You know, you remind me so much when you just did that of the Jim Carrey version. Like nailed that. It was like identical to him. I could see him.
Jim Carrey has been stealing my stuff for 30 years now.
That guy.
No,
It explains why that was such an inspired performance with that, because I do think that even though it was an animation and they did make the actors look like their real characters or their real people behind them, I think he just really did such a great job of bringing that to life for all generations. And Katie's right. I was getting those vibes as well. And not that you didn't take it this way, but the highest compliment.
No, of course, of course. I mean,
well done,
and the great thing about playing Scrooge, and Jim Carrey gets it right, and Bill Murray in Scrooge gets it. The best
what a great one.
It's a funny play. There's laughs in Scrooge's miserliness and his attitude, and then in his redemption at the end, when he finds out he's alive. And Dickens was a great writer, one of the best of the modern era, but he also was an actor. So he understood how to bring humor into everything. And he opens Christmas Carol with a joke. Marley was dead as a doornail. I don't know how dead a doornail actually is, but a doornail's dead and Marley is just that. So Jim Carrey found the humor, and Bill Murray really found the humor. And that's what I try and do. There's got to be, if you want to get mad at Scrooge, but you want to kind of be able to laugh at him.
Well, you have to mention, you do want to. I think that he has some traits that all of us have a little bit of during the holidays. Like, I think we all have a little bit of bah humbug in us.
Sure.
You know, it comes out in different forms, but we're just the hustle, the bustle. We get stressed. It's like, oh Lord, could this just be over?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And obviously, the story is told beautifully through Dickens' adaptations. But I like, to your point, I'm glad you said at the beginning. Let me says Marley was dead, to be sure.
To be sure. He was dead.
It's sure, yep.
Yeah.
You know what I love about A Christmas Carol is I feel like I've loved that story from when I was a child, still love it today. But as I get older, I appreciate it in different ways. Kind of like your point, I can understand the Scrooge a little bit more as I'm getting older. But then there's still that loving of, the kids love it for different reasons. And so it's one of those classic stories that you'll always appreciate at any age for different reasons. But to your point, to what you said earlier, I do find it to be funnier than I did when I was younger.
Exactly. When we were young, it was, ooh, he's so scary.
Yes.
And then now you really dive into the language, and it is very funny. And, I love all of the characters, and I love his nephew. His nephew Fred has so much fun with Scrooge. Merry Christmas, Uncle. Merry Christmas, Uncle. Come on, get in the spirit. And there's a great book out. It's a little a book called How Charles Dickens Saved Christmas. And the Christmas Carol story, if you really did the research, and it's not too deep a dive, is that it came at a time, and it was not a holiday novel. He didn't really write it as a holiday novel. It was a novel that happened to be written at Christmas time about this man who made these choices in his life and does get redeemed. And, how long have we been all worried about the almighty dollar and money and money and money and money, and money makes, the money's the answer to everything. And that's what makes it so timeless. And Charles Dickens is very much responsible for what we celebrate at Christmas.
I know that you mentioned how it was not originally meant to be, back then those types of things didn't necessarily exist. It wasn't meant to be a Christmas story. But the beauty is that you can't, I have highly doubt that you can go and see this play that Will is starring in, and you don't walk out of there with the Christmas spirit just poured all over you.
Oh my gosh.
It'd almost be impossible.
It is impossible. It's just because you take the journey with Scrooge that we've all been on. We've been that bah humbug person for whatever reason. And then when he wakes up Christmas morning and he has another chance. I mean, it's so glorious, and it's so much fun to play.
And it's at the Majestic Theater, and this is in Gettysburg. And you were saying that this is one of the bigger productions you've seen. How many seats does the Majestic have?
I think the Majestic has about 800.
Oh, wow.
800 seats.
And there's not a bad seat.
Not a bad seat, because a lot of theaters from that time were built almost like bowling alleys. The Majestic has this nice fan out, so there's not a bad seat in the house. It's glorious, it's comfortable, and as soon as you walk in, you get that feeling of, I'm in a special place. I'm in the theater. You get the same feeling as if you're walking into a Broadway theater, that I'm in an important place here for an important event.
And it kicks off the 6th to the 15th.
Yeah.
Now all the production and everything that you guys are doing for it, are you doing that at the Majestic, or are you building the sets at the Totem Pole and then moving them to the Majestic?
The set was built many years ago, and it is stored, and then it's assembled at the Majestic.
Okay.
And everything's lit at the Majestic. We started rehearsals in some of them in the rehearsal hall at Totem Pole and in Caledonia, and then there's a rehearsal hall off of the theater at the Majestic, which you tape out the whole room so you know where the turntable is, you know where everything is, and you're kind of looking down at the floor to make sure you're in the right place, and then you bring it into the theater. We were lucky to be able to be in the theater longer than usual. You know, when you do a play, if you rehearse for 4 weeks, the first 3 weeks are always in a rehearsal hall.
And I remember the gentleman from Totem Pole that was here a couple weeks ago.
Ryan,
we were talking about this, about how they had been rehearsing in other places, and I was curious about that. Have you performed at the Majestic before?
I have not.
Oh, cool.
I have not.
Oh, wow.
I was in.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's. I can't wait to get my own set of pictures of me at the. Look at me, Ma. You know, the selfie back. I was in. My good friend and Totem Poler, John Putch, did all those Route 30 movies, and he did show them at the Majestic. So on screen, I was in Route 32 and Route 33 and Father and the Bear. So I played the Majestic on screen, but never live.
Wow, that's awesome. And the tickets are online at totempoleplayhouse.com?
If you go to totempoleplayhouse.org, that will send you to the Majestic, and that's gettysburgmajestic.org. Or if you just Google Majestic Theater Gettysburg, it'll dump you right to it. Or you could call.
Yeah, and there's tons of parking around there. You're not hurting for parking. It's historic Gettysburg. So go there.
To make a day of it.
Go to the Dobbin House.
Sure.
Get some food. Head over to the Majestic. Watch Ray, Christmas Carol.
Yep.
Winery.
How long? Winery. How long is the production?
With intermission, it runs just under 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
So you could hit one of the great pubs in Gettysburg, which I've sampled all of them, to make sure that they're up to Totem Pole standards, and they are. So, and we'd love to see folks come on down. And if you can't make it, it is Giving Tuesday now, so you can buy gift certificates, or what a great present to give someone for the holidays. And help Totem Pole out, because the arts are so essential. It seems cliche, but it is community engagement.
Absolutely.
And it's so important. And when you talk to people about like Totem Pole or going to a play, they say, "Oh, the first time I went to Totem Pole," they don't go, "Oh, well, it was all right." Right. They tell this glorious story like they've seen Mickey Mantle at Yankee Stadium, so that first theatrical experience. So
be the hero of your family.
Be the hero.
You'll never forget it.
You will never forget it, and it's it's a great tradition at Totem Pole, and it's I'm just so excited to be a part of it.
And we are too. Verstanding Media has been a big supporter of Totem Pole for so long, and we're happy to have that relationship with you guys. And Ray, thank you so much for not only coming in, but giving us a little sample. That was pretty awesome. I'm glad that you did that. I was wondering if you were going to come in costume, but
no, I just arrived from home in Arlington, Virginia, and I'm coming here and then go, because we had our day off yesterday.
Oh, that's quite a commute that you have.
Well, thank you for making that. That was a big
ask. No, not at all. Can I get a bah humbug?
For me?
Yeah.
Bah humbug.
There you go.
I don't know. I'm not really a bah humbug kind of person. Oh, he is.
Bah humbug.
Ooh, wait a minute. That's very good.
Yeah, I'm not. That doesn't surprise me at all.
We have a team up later.
Very good. Yeah, I could use a few pointers.
Thanks again. We really appreciate you being here with us.
Thank you so much.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.